Well, he's kind of reluctant to leave because he has no idea what we're going to talk about tonight. Again, we didn't even give him a hint. Let's look at the dynamics that are happening, and some of you are shifting around from negative to positive, and some of you are shifting around from positive to negative, and some of you are shifting around from mediocre to unconscious, and some of you are being bit in the ass by your subconscious, and and we're not talking about any of you in particular, but we are speaking about all of you in general because, as you are moving now through this new phase and these new big changes, as the dynamics of the chaos becomes more imperative in many ways, more intense. You are finding that the foundations of many of the things, and we do mean the foundations of many of the things that you have believed, are now either coming up for question or are simply disintegrating right in front of you. And so, what you are beginning to experience more and more as individuals is that removal of the false paradigm of belief that you have all held about your interaction with each other, your interaction with the divine, your interaction with your emotional bodies, your emotional maturity. How many of you can say that you can look at yourselves and say, I am emotionally mature enough, enough, that I am not in a position where I allow my emotions to control me, where I allow my emotions to knock me from pillar to post, where I allow my negative ego, that part of myself that keeps telling me that I'm not good enough, that part of myself that keeps, or on the opposite side says, I'm too good. For how many of you have been banging up against your what we call your personal princesses lately, or your personal princes? That piece of yourself that believes that you are entitled to be something, anything. And so the thing that is missing within this whole dynamic is a relationship with the divine. This is the thing that's missing for so many in your world. And it's not going to be through the dynamic of old religious teachings. In fact, the dynamics are happening and are occurring in such a way as those old religious teachings are falling by, and it is being replaced with a certain dynamic of a moral compass where each individual is responsible for acting within the parameters of a civilization. For this is really what you need to consider for yourselves, whether you are, in fact, a civilization. And if you are, in fact, a civilization, that means that you all, every human, every color, every creed, every race, every, what shall we say, level of ability, even the, what shall we say, the worst in your world are all a part of the divine aspect. If you begin to present more of the positive, more of that dynamic of who you really are to the world, is it going to leave room in the dynamics of your life for the negative? And we would suggest to you that if you have a connection with the divine, if you can look within your heart center and find, because it's within that you find your connection to the divine, that you find your connection to God. Can you look in, not just look inside of yourself, can you become one with your truth, with the truth of who you are? Can you be convinced that you are good enough, even if you are not perfect?